We still don't know who those other 8 victims are, but that shooting happened right at this church a little bit ways behind me, a few blocks down this road. Now, police are still searching for that shooter. You can see right here on Meeting Street and Calhoun Street, it is blocked off, and a lot of this area is blocked off as police continue their search. The latest thing is that they are trying to get a head count of those residents. They're currently about to load them on buses and send them to that government building on Ronald Reagan Drive, and once they do that, they should have a count of how many people are there and if they're still searching for any others. And that's where families need to go to meet up with their loved one that lives here. Now I'm going to step out so we can get another look at this fire. As you can see, crews still actively working this. I mean, it's been almost 3 hours and flames still going, still blazing non-stop. That press conference ended just a few moments ago, but what they did is they gave us this flyer with pictures. You can see the suspect right here, and they say that he left in that black 4-door sedan. Now, they aren't sure the exact make and model at this time, but they are asking for everyone's help in this. They say they have all teams on deck and they are vigilant in searching for him. It's this flag that's been flying here for 15 years that's at the center of this controversy. And Governor Nikki Haley, Charleston Mayor Joe Riley, and other lawmakers say it's time to come down, especially in the wake of the shooting massacre in Charleston. And a tornado even hit here in Aiken County with reaching speeds up to 115 miles an hour. Now you can see right here, there is parts of a carport, a lot of debris out here, parts of screen doors. Now if you want to follow me, I'll show you just some more of the debris that hit just this area. I mean, there's glass all throughout here, you know, pieces of roofs, doors, wood, just a lot of debris. You can see even right here, there's a carport that completely collapsed. So obviously it hit Aiken pretty hard and left a lot of people shaken up. Now, and after 50 years, the flag is coming down at 10 this morning, and it's definitely bringing opposing opinions. For some, today is a celebration. I've heard from people who have fought for decades for this day, and others who say this flag is really just about heritage. But the flag was put on top of the dome to protest the civil rights movement, and back in 2000, it was moved off of there and put behind the Confederate monument where it stands today for just a few more hours. Now, yesterday, Governor Nikki Haley signed the bill for the Confederate flag's removal. She signed it with 9 pens, one for each of the 9 people killed during a Bible study at a historic black church last month. She also gave a pen to former Governor David Beasley, who proposed removing the flag from the dome in 1996, which cost him re-election. And she also gave a pen to former Governor Jim Hodges, saying he worked hard to bring the flag down from the dome. Now you can see around this area, it is already barricaded off around the State House for safety. There are deputies already here patrolling the area, and the city is also putting a ordinance in place not allowing weapons within 250 feet of State House grounds indefinitely. But again, that flag will be coming down at 10 this morning, and it will be put in the relic room. But it's definitely a historic day here, and a lot more people will be coming just to see this flag come down. Meredith. The case started just before midnight in North Augusta when an officer tried to pull over a Tahoe for a busted taillight, but instead of stopping, they took off. Now you can see the scene is clear now, but the chase ended just over in this intersection just a few hours ago after crashing into another car.
Julie, still a very active scene, and you just spoke with someone out there. Tell us what you've learned.
Right, Meredith, I'm out here. The church where that shooting happened is just a few blocks down this road. But I spoke with one man who was out here in a prayer circle, members of the community just here, you know, trying to get that power of prayer back out here. And I spoke to him, and he just is still really in disbelief that this even happened, still trying to process and wrap his mind around this. And when I asked him if there was anything that he had to say to that shooter about what happened, he said really just all he would need and want to do is forgiveness. Christie officials just told us the victim was 92-year-old Agnes Caviston. Investigators say the call came in around 5 this evening, and when the Richmond County Fire Department and deputies arrived on scene, there were flames and something a little more disturbing. Officials say a white male was lying on this road, partially clothed, saying he killed his mother. It's been a shocking Saturday for neighbors, and here's what the man who dialed 911 had to say. Really just smoke at this point, but what's happening right now, I'm going to step out of the shot. If you can see a little ways down, they are loading up residents right now. They're taking that head count. He just said, you know, life is going on. Earlier I saw a man on his morning run just running by here, stopped to put a t-shirt down over here at this memorial. And also there have been people from all over coming to show their support. I know at that vigil yesterday at noon, there was, I mean, you could just feel the energy. There were people on their knees, a whole group just praying together and coming together. So like you said, you know, an outsider came in and did this, but it's also bringing people from the outside in here for support. You can see right back here, there's actually a tree down right here in somebody's front yard, and they're not the only ones. I mean, there's a few houses like that on this road, but luckily this one is not on their house. And Meredith, 9 people were killed, 6 were female and 3 were males. Now, one of those people killed was State Senator Pinckney, but right now investigators don't know if anyone was targeted. There were 3 survivors in this shooting, and investigators say the suspect was actually sitting inside that prayer meeting for an hour before he started shooting. Now, they also say they have a surveillance image of the suspect that they are putting out to get help from people to identify him. They also say that he left in a black 4-door sedan, but they still don't know the exact make and model of that. Now, they have all hands on deck here. There are law enforcement agencies from Washington, FBI, SLED, and the Charleston Sheriff's Office and Police Department all working around the clock to investigate this and find this man. But the police chief for Charleston, Greg Mullen, says this is unacceptable in any society.
This tragedy is undescribable. No one in this community will ever forget this night. And because of the pain and because of the hurt that this individual has caused this community, this entire community, the law enforcement agencies that are working on this are committed, and we will catch this individual.
Investigators say they are using public and private cameras to get more surveillance of the suspect. They also say the biggest thing they're concerned about right now is the families, and they have victim assistance for them. But again, all hands on deck, investigators out here working to find that suspect, and they say to be vigilant and keep an eye out for that suspect for people all across the country because they still don't know exactly where he is. But as soon as we get any more updated information, we will let you know. Meredith. And $1 million settlement was reached March 27th of this year. April 7th, Craven was arrested on the felony gun charge, released 2 hours later on a $20,000 bond. And on May 6th, News 12 and the Aiken Standard are challenging a motion filed by Craven's attorney to prevent dash cam video from being released. And today, the grand jury will vote if there's enough evidence on that felony gun charge for Craven to stand a trial, and a first appearance on that charge is scheduled for tomorrow. Something we'll definitely keep you updated.
So it seems pretty clear right now, and we have seen some cars already on their way to work. So what should people know when they're getting ready to leave this morning?
Just allow for some additional time. They need to be careful that the roads may be slick in some areas. If we continue to get some precipitation, such as this rain that we're having now, just to be careful and take some additional time to get to where they're going safely.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Well, Jess, Crooms is having an arraignment hearing today where he'll enter his plea. He's facing 7 counts of animal cruelty. Burke County investigators say they found 10 dogs on his property, 6 of them dead and 4 in serious condition. His mother tells News 12 that her son suffers from mental issues and that he's been treated for that in the past. She also says she filed assault charges against her son the same week the murder happened. So to be able to stand a trial, he must be able to understand the charges against him, have some understanding of courtroom procedure, and work with counsel so they can plan a legal strategy. Also, he has to be able to remember important facts, including motive, during the crime.
Jess, here in Richmond County schools have actually just opened their doors so kids can come inside so they don't have to wait outside in the cold. And bus transportation personnel have come in early so they can warm up buses so they can run smoothly. And also, bus drivers have been told to wait a little bit longer at each bus stop so, again, kids don't have to wait outside. And officers turn on their body camera before they get out of the car. And once they get to you, it's still rolling and they don't turn it off until the call is completed. A man was able to break into this home by stepping onto these cinder blocks, taking this entire window out, and then climbing inside. Columbia County school buses are sitting here empty, waiting to be loaded up with kids, and one South Columbia mom says she had to wait even longer for her child to come home. Pieces of rubble this size and up to 5 feet larger are going from this bridge and into these waters. which will create somewhat of a reef and bring a lot more bigger fish into this lake. PTR Industries makes about 40 different rifles like this one here, and they're looking down the barrel hoping to bring more to South Carolina than a good shot. This is one of only 2 boats that patrol 70,000 acres in Georgia, and there are only 4 DNR officers on the water at any given time. These cameras can catch cars on both sides of the road. The license plate picture shows up here, and you can see if somebody has a stolen vehicle or stolen tag or suspended registration, and that ticket will put you back $790.